Welcome to the Wyoming Knits podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 8th, 2023, and this is episode 12. My name is Jenny Lee, and I'm coming to you from Southwest Wyoming, where I live with my husband, my daughter, and our little Yorkie Dax. This is my channel where I like to talk about all the things that I've been knitting for the last couple of weeks. You can find me on Instagram as Jenny Lee Knits, and you can find me on Ravelry as Jenny Lee S Knits. If you are new here, thank you for coming, and if you are returning, thank you for coming back. So we're going to start with all of my finished objects. I have some socks that I've finished. The first pair is a pair I knit for my niece. This is the String of Lights pattern by Lindsay of Sock Witchery. And I do have both of them finished. So these will be gifted to my niece before she leaves for college. My next finished object is another sock. This one is a vanilla sock. I did a 2x2 cuff for 20 rounds and then went right into vanilla. I cast on 64 stitches, stockinette for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then this will fit a size 10, US women's size 10. And then I just did a rounded toe. When I talk about my works in progress, I will talk a little bit more about how I construct my socks. These are going to be a gift. My next finished object is also another pair of socks. I have these two. This one is 64 stitches also, 2x2 for 20 rounds. This is the second breakfast pattern by Lindsay of Sock Witchery. And these are going to fit a size, US women's size 4. These socks I made as a auction gift. And I used Yarn Cafe Creations in the color Gumdrop Nougat. So I have both of these. And my last finished object is another pair of socks. These ones are also a gift for my aunt. These ones I used 64 stitches to cast on, 2x2 for 20 rounds, stockinette for the leg, slip stitch, and then a rounded toe. When I started making these, they just reminded me of my aunt when I would go see her when she still lived with my grandma and before she graduated from high school. So, and that is the last of my finished objects. And now we'll talk about some works in progress. I have two socks that I'm working on right now. These are for my friend's daughters, two sisters. I have my Mountain State Stitches bag and my Knit for Brains bag. The first one I cast on is ready for the toe. I switched to magic loop for the toe. So when I do my socks, if they're going to be a gift, I usually cast on 64 stitches, and I do a knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for the cuff for 20 rounds, and then I decide if I want a pattern or straight stockinette. This one is just plain stockinette. You can see how the yarn is pooling. I think I did 70 rounds in plain stockinette, and then I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and my gusset decreases, and then I used my sock ruler from Twice Sheared Sheep to figure out where I needed to start my toe. So you just put this like this, measure it. So this is in the heel. Measure to where you need to go and then start your toe. So this is always next to my chair when I'm making socks. And then you could wear it like a slap bracelet. So it's always with you. I'm using yarn from You Knit, I Dye, and this is the Freakshow sock set. And this is what it looks like in the cake. These colors just reminded me of her. So I'm on the first sock on this one, and her sister's getting a vanilla sock also. So I'm almost ready to start the toe on this one. Same pattern, 2 by 2, knit 2, purl 2, 20 rounds, slip stitch, and then I'm using my Yarnable from June of this year, and this is the Pollinator Party color. This beautiful blue with the beautiful speckles. I did have someone ask me about the toes on my socks, so I will explain that a little bit. When I do the toe, I switch to magic loop. I usually do 9-inch circular needles for everything but the toe. And then when I do the toe, I knit 1, slip, slip, knit, knit across, knit 2 together, knit 1, go to the back, knit 1, slip, slip, knit, knit to the last 3, knit 2 together, knit, and then when I get back to the front, I knit across, go to the back, knit across, go back to the front, knit 1, slip, 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 knit, knit to the last 3, knit 2 together, knit 1, and I alternate decreases and plain knit row until I get down to, if it's a 64 stitch, I get down to 16 stitches on the front, 16 stitches on the back, and then I do one more plain knit round, and then I decrease every round until I get down to 8 stitches on the front, 8 stitches on the back, and then I Kitchener the toe. This is just so neat how it's pooling. And then on the inside, it's got nice, like straight lines. So I thought that was kind of neat. So those are my 2 socks that I'm working on. Hopefully I will have these done before school starts. My next work in progress is in a Sassy Sacks. It is my Cable Crush Joggers by Knitatude. I bought a kit off of the Lion Brand site, and it came with the wool ease in the color Antler. It came with all the yarn, the pattern, and the Haya needles to knit with. So let's see. So far, I have split and started on one leg. So this is the front. Last time I showed it, I was right there where the stitch marker was. I hadn't split for the two legs yet. And so now I'm just working on the decreases on the leg. So these are a gift for one of my friends. She thought that some knitted sweatpants would be really fun and really warm in the winter time. So her birthday's in October, so I'm hoping to have these done before her birthday. My next one we want to talk about is my extra string. This is also another Sassy Sacks. And you have seen this one quite often. I did reach my goal of adding the Suri. This is the Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. Okay, let's see. So I finished the huge rectangle and I seamed the arms. I picked up for the shawl collar, and then I have to do, I think, 13 inches for the shawl collar, and then go back and pick up stitches and do the cuffs on the sleeve. So this is a little easier to work on in the afternoons. It's just plain stockinette. So you just knit all the way down, purl all the way back. There's over 300 stitches on here right now, so hopefully I can get this done before Christmas. I'm using Knitpicks, let's see, Upcycle Alpaca in the Seaglass color for the main body, and Loco's Suri Alpaca in the color Elm for the shawl collar. My next sweater I would like to talk about is my Whitmoor sweater, Living in This Bag by Awesome Granny. I'm also using another Knitpicks yarn. I'm using the Swish DK in the Marble Heather color. I think last time I showed this, I had not split for sleeves yet. So now I've split for sleeves, finished the body, and one whole sleeve. I chose to do the bishop sleeve on this one. I have never done a bishop sleeve before, so I decided to try that out. I am loving this lace. I think this is going to be an awesome sweater this winter, this fall, to wear to work. So hopefully I do want to finish this week. I am able to get back into my classroom this week and start putting things together and start getting things ready for the school year. I think we have 2 weeks, this week and next week, before the teachers have to come back, and then the students come back the week after. So I'm working on getting my classroom ready and then coming home and knitting after I get finished. My next sweater is living in a bag that one of my coworkers made me. We did a swap. I knit her a shawl and she made me a bag. The yarn I'm using is Yarn Cafe Creations in the Minty Kiss Cocoa color. This is her 100% Superwash BFL. I think she discontinued this base, and so when I saw it, I bought 10 skeins, hoping that would be enough for my All of the Lights cardigan. I think last time you saw it, I was working on the front, and now I have connected the front and the 2 front panels and the back. So here is the back. Let's see if we can so we've got this cable section, a lace section, a cable section, a lace section, and another cable section on the back. And then on the front we have cables, lace, and then this awesome texture. And I just have to keep knitting. I think right here was the middle of the back, and I might have picked up this section a little too far off center, because now this cable sticks out kind of funny. I don't know. Can we try it on? So this is what I've got so far. Got the arms on hold. I think this is a fun kind of knit. I've made copies of all the charts and put them in my GoodNotes app where I can highlight each section as I do it. I'll start here, let's see, this side, and I'll do the cable chart, mark off that line, do the next cable chart, mark off that line. Do the lace chart, mark off that line. And just keep going until I get to the end. And then after I get to the end, mark off the charts on the way back. So I put all of the stitch markers to show me where this is where the chart starts and ends. Then sometimes there's just a little almost like a ribbing in between. So this one takes a lot of brain space. It's going to be a very long-term project, but I am loving it so far. And I think that is all of the garments I've been working on. I do have some blankets that I work on here and there, and most of them are scrappy projects and long-term projects. My first one that I am going to share is my Cozy Memories blanket. Let's see. This only contains yarn that I've used in a project. So if it hasn't been in a project yet, it is not in here. I've chosen not to take any of my mini skeins and put in here yet until they've been added to a project. I do like to weave in my ends after I'm finished with a row, and so I will weave these in after I get done with this row. So I think last time I showed it was down here. I've added a couple more rows. These are socks for my niece. This was in my sock Witchery blanket. This one was, these two were the Felici and the contrast color that I used for my mother-in-law's socks. This one was for my mom's socks. This was a gift. This one was what was left over from my daughter's tank top, and I ran out of yarn, so I just finished with this one. Let's see. Oh, these ones across the top here are some of the yarns that I've put into my Jigsaw puzzle blanket. And so when I finish a project, I just put the yarn down in this snap bag. Here's the Christmas socks, my aunt's socks, my niece's socks, and the gift pair. So those will go into this blanket next. I am using a US size 3. I do 20 stitches by 20 stitches. We'll go with the Jigsaw puzzle blanket next. It's getting bigger. Have different parts of it on hold. So let's see. And this I am using just random yarn that I had in my stash, but I'm making sure that I hold at least One of the yarns is a sparkle yarn. So this one sparkles. Some of the lighter ones. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on the lighter ones. Maybe right here. And then just, I'm trying not to hold any of them twice. So I'll use this same yarn again with a different color and make sure I don't hold these two together again in any other section. So that one is my Jigsaw Puzzle Blanket by Stephen West. I've worked on it. Every once in a while I'll do 1 or 2 sections, but I planned it out that if I keep track and do one section every week, there's 47 sections, and then an I-cord border. If I do 1 section a week all year, then I will be able to finish by the end of the year. My next one is my Bits and Bobs blanket. I've made some progress on this one. Let's see. I think last time we were right down here. So I've added about that much. And for this one, I am using all of my Mandala Ombre by Lion brand that, as I was in the store, I was like, oh, that's pretty. I need 1 or 2 of those. And then after I got it home, I wasn't quite sure what to do with it. So I have lots of different colors. And so I thought this would be a fun, scrappy almost blanket. So I've got this much left on this ball before moving on to the next one. And this is the Bits and Bobs blanket by Kay Jones. My next one is my Painting Honeycombs by Stephen West that I'm doing as a gift for one of my friends, her daughter. This is giving me all the mermaid vibes. So, still got a few more repeats to go. Her birthday is in February, so get some other stuff done before I work on this some more. And this one I'm also using the Lion brand. This is Serene, and this one is Mantra. So those are the 2 colors. And then I have another Lion brand blanket that I'm working on. This one is a very long-term project. I bought this and I'm just using different ones. And letting the stripes do all the work. And I'm using a feather and fan pattern. This was a pattern I found on Yarnspirations. and I just work on it every once in a while. This one is going to be going to my mom when I get it finished. It's living in my Knit Stars bag that I got a couple years ago. I think season 6. So it's a good blanket size bag. And that is all of the things that I have been working on for the last little while. Now we will talk about all of the things that I've got in the mail. So I have my podcast basket with all of the things. Teal Torch Knits has some mystery grab bags. I did her mystery Suri. So these are 25 grams. And this was one. So I ordered 2. And you don't get to pick which colors. She just puts 4 in a bag and sends them to you. So I got those, and then I did her 3 skein grab bag. I got these 3 colors. Hot and Fun, Dancing on Top of Cars, and Lemon Lime Fizz. And then I got my Dragon Horde. Let me take this out of the bag. I got my Dragon Horde Tolkien inspired. This one is Arwen. The beautiful speckles, the 2 minis. So I think I have got her Tolkien inspired monthly yarn all year. She did January, February, March, April, and I want to say May. She didn't do in May and June, so this one is July. So I got this one, and then I got my Row 1 minis. This is Heathered Handmaids. And then I got my Yarnable also in the little bag with all the extras. We got a set of Monster Knits buttons, a needle minder, and another slap bracelet gauge ruler. And then the yarn is this beautiful sunflower inspired Grow with the Flow with the beautiful greens and oranges. This is definitely going to be a pair of socks for me. Green is my favorite color, and this is going to be for me. We did get a email that said they ran out of the Yarnable labels, so some of them were going to have a hypnotic label this time. So that was my Yarnable for this month. And that will go over here. And that is everything that I've got in the mail lately. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you again next time. Enjoy your time and happy knitting.